5, the energy's alive. 501 podcast, feel the beat, we thrive.
Welcome back to the 501 podcast. You just clocked out, but now it's time to tap in. Today we're going to be talking about modern dating. Well, dating in 2025, whereas we have more access to each other now via dating apps, via social media, and like the influx of dating, reality dating shows like Perfect Match, Love Island, and Pop the Balloon. A lot of people feel like the odds are stacked against them. How do you feel about that, Dana?
I was kind of thinking about I Love New York and Flavor Flav. That's kind of like brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
He had the dating shows. I remember we used to watch that all the time back in the day. What? My friends, they would like play all those like dating shows and everything like that, like the game shows. Everyone be trying to like holler at Flavor Flav, even though he was looking kind of funny at the time.
No, I definitely like remember that. I feel like that came out before The Bachelor, right?
The Bachelor's been on for a while, but like Flavor Flav was like, I feel like the first like serious like black dating show.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I do feel like we are trying to like put a spotlight on the shows. Everyone's trying to create like the perfect like TV romance. Everyone wants like all the fancy stuff. Fuck, tongue-tied.
Like, you feel like people want to like live the lives of like these like I guess like Class D celebrities.
That's a part of it. I feel like we're talking about two different things. One, the entertainment version of dating versus real life practical dating.
Right.
And a lot of the shows that we see, there's also been like a reference towards how things happen like in our parents' generation, like our grandparents' generation.
Mm-hmm.
And dating is definitely different in the 21st century compared to the 20th.
What do you think is like harder and what do you think is like easier now?
I feel like no one's really realistic about what they can get or what they really want. I feel like people come into situations with the heavy ask. And I'll say people don't really approach their needs tactfully.
What do you mean by that?
All right, there have been situations where I've heard like, before you can even talk to me, before you can get my number, I need some bread, my hair, my nails. I've seen some dudes say like, all right, cool. If I'm gonna date someone, she's gotta give it up every night. I need some food like every night. She gotta cook like the steak, the potatoes, all that jazz. She gotta wash my clothes. She gotta wash my underwear. She gotta clean the crib, all that jazz. And I feel like if you're just meeting somebody for the first time to just come out the gate demanding all these things that you need, it kind of sounds like you're being a taker, and that's going to turn off anybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of wild though to be like demanding wifely duties and like husband duties at like the first date. That's kind of crazy.
But it's really filled the narrative on social media, to be quite honest. So from my side, I'll typically see content that focuses more towards some of the demands that young ladies will have. And I really do see that narrative like repeating. You got to have 6 figures. You got to be over 6 feet tall. You got to have 6 inches in the pants. You got to have like a nice house, a nice car, all that jazz. And you have to pay for the physical upkeep. And that just really doesn't sound appealing. Like you just can't walk into a person's life or their situation as a bill off rip.
Right.
And on the opposite side of the spectrum, you can't walk up to a young lady and demand that she become like a domestic servant in a sense.
Right, of course not. How do you feel like about like people being like placeholders for like
the placeholder topic. I don't know if I'd really call someone a placeholder per se. I do feel like certain relationships have a season and a reason.
Mm-hmm.
We often just can't like meet somebody for the first time and say like, oh yeah, that's going to be my forever person. That's going to be my husband. That's going to be my wife. You have to get to know them for a little bit, and you might have a decent time and realize that might not be your forever person.
Yeah, of course, but I do feel like we're all placeholders in a way. You know what I mean? Like you might like enter a relationship, of course, not like expecting it to like end or whatever, but I'm sorry, I really hate hearing myself. You might enter a relationship like not expecting like it to end, because if you enter a relationship expecting it to end, I mean, it's like already over before it began. But
Nah, so I get it. You don't want to think about the end, but you often have to hope for the best, plan for the worst. That doesn't mean that you're wishing death upon your relationship. But also, if you treat everyone like a placeholder and you're very if you're really against that, then you just can't really date anybody.
yeah, but like there's like monkey barring too, where it's like you know you want to like, you don't want to be with this person anymore, but you're holding on to them until you find someone better. And then like it gets like the line gets like very blurred, because you're like, when did that relationship end versus when did this new relationship start?
Now, monkey branching, that is kind of funny. If somebody wants to move on, or if they're just like biding their time, that's their prerogative. I'm not really trying to cast judgment on somebody for doing that. For example, I want to date Beyonce. I want to date Rihanna. Maybe Glorilla. All of them, but like I'm not going to be dating someone who's like, oh yeah, you just here for the time being until I get my shot at Riri, Queen Bee, or whoever. That's kind of unrealistic to just like hope and like wait for somebody else to like come along. We all want what we want, you know. I can't change anyone's like hopes or dreams or like their desires. But now, if they're not doing anything, they're not like actively trying to replace you. I don't feel like it's that big of a deal.
But like that's kind of more like a fantasy versus like someone who's like they're in love with their ex still, like, so whatever happened and they it didn't work out, but they're still holding on hope that their ex will somehow like come back to them, and like whoever they have now is like good enough until like the ex eventually comes back.
All right, well, if you're hoping on an ex and like you know they're really like not there for you, you're kind of delusional for thinking that it's still gonna go on.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, if I was dating someone,
But how would you feel like if you were the placeholder for that person? Like they're just like waiting for like their ex to come back, but they're like wasting your time essentially.
all right, in that situation, if I know I'm just there to buy time for somebody, I would just have to be honest with myself, accept it for what it is. They're more so concerned with somebody else. Cool. At that point, I'm gonna have to just get whatever I can out of that situation, and I would just operate in the same manner. All right.
Expand.
I know your heart doesn't belong to me. I know we can't have anything long term because you're still caught up on somebody else. All right. If you're still doing some of the housely tasks and like we're still sleeping together, cool. I'm getting mine. But I also wouldn't feel bad about seeing other people on the side, because you've already communicated with your actions that you're more so focused on somebody else. Cool. So I'm going to focus on somebody else as well. And I'm just going to...
I mean, they're not cheating though.
They're not cheating because they don't have the opportunity to cheat.
Exactly. So wouldn't you... Well, a lot of the time people don't know that they're placeholders.
You said if I knew.
Yeah, but if you found out, and it also depends on how you found out as well. Would you like break up with that person or like what?
Depends on what they're really doing for me.
What do you mean by that?
All right, if we're keeping it like base level, like if the sex is trash, no, they gotta go. I'm not doing it. But like if the sex is really good, or if they're like providing some type of support and some type of material improvement towards my life, all right, let's keep this going. Let's do what we can. We're providing some type of value to each other. We're just not going to provide the ultimate value of that long-term commitment. But I would just bide my time, do what I need to do, and I would eventually move on.
Would you say you love practically?
Define practically.
Meaning like not really emotionally, not really like attached, like, oh my God, I'm in love with this person. Like, would you say like you like love like practically, meaning like logically, like?
I try to be as logical as I can. I don't feel like I'm head over heels going crazy for people just because I've dated a lot. I've had a lot of L's, a lot of W's, and I do see dating as a game in some senses.
Mhm.
I do believe in the phrase like all's fair in like love and war.
Mhm.
I can care about somebody, but like I'm not gonna be devastated if it's not working out properly. I just feel like we all have our own objectives at the end of the day, and I'm not gonna begrudge somebody for what they want as long as they're not actively causing me harm.
But do you like? I hear what you're saying, but like, do you feel like? No, I guess I'll ask it. I'll ask something else. Um, do you feel like most men love practically and logically? Is that like why it's like very easily for them to like cheat and stuff?
Okay, I would say as a young man, like when you first start getting into the game, you have a more romanticized idea of love.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone has like the story of like their first love, who they were like head over heels for,
Mhm.
down for anything. That was like their ride or die. But then when it like ends, you tend to look at love a little bit more realistically.
Mhm.
I also feel like we view love in a man's sense
Mm.
differently than what it is. All right, for example, for a young lady that's going through her monthly cycle,
Mhm.
she has hormones that make her feel a little all over the place at times.
Mhm.
But as a young man going through puberty, you got testosterone going through you. So I wouldn't say like guys are like more prone to cheating, but like you have hormones in your body like make you kind of want to go all over the place.
Expand.
Okay. There are hormones.
No, what do you mean by all over the place? No, that's what you said. So what do you mean by that?
All right. It's funny because your mom's in the background trying to say anything crazy for your mom. All right. Going through puberty, testosterone, you wake up, your dick's hard, you're ready to tackle anything that like moves. You try and knock something down. You just feel like you're ready. You're not necessarily fooling around with other people because you're trying to like do
Mhm.
harm to a partner or because you're like trying to replace them. It's more so like you just want more sex
Mhm.
or you just might get the opportunity.
Okay. So do you feel like your first love is your one true love?
No.
I mean, that's practically what you just said, though. You were like, the first love is like the ones you're head over heels of, and like once that like ends, it changes your whole perspective on love. And if you become like cold and distant, then that is your one true love because you never really loved anyone after that, and you become.
All right. The first woman like I ever like, the first young lady that I had like feelings for, the young lady who I like lost my V card to.
Mhm.
I had actually found out that she was cheating on me with like my best friend like a couple minutes after the fact.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm walking home. I tell the guys what happened. They're
Yeah.
all dapping me up, congratulating me and shit. They tell my dad.
They tell your dad.
Oh yeah, no, my best friend told my dad that I lost my virginity before I could even tell him.
Mm-hmm.
That was a funny time. So we were all at the table and they're like,
Wait, the same best friend? Or you had like multiple best friends?
this is my friend D. I don't really see him all that much anymore. This was back when I was like 14.
No, I know. You were like that you found out that she was cheating on you with your best friend.
Another one.
Okay.
Another one of the homies.
All right.
So we were all at the table and there's like, yeah, man, she's trying to holler at Aunt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, cool. It's dead. I mean, I wasn't jaded after that. I've had other relationships where I've like really cared for the people that I was with, and things just didn't go the way they should have. You know, sometimes when you meet the right person at the wrong time.
Mhm.
I had lost a good one like that back when I was like 22, and I'm not jaded. I wish things had like been a little bit differently.
Like, so you have regrets?
I mean, I always kind of like wonder like what could have been,
Mhm.
but I always think about like all the options. Like, what if I had taken X, Y, and Z path
Mhm.
just for like the sci-fi reference to like the
Yeah.
multiverse and like Marvel?
Yeah.
Like, what if I had went left down that street?
But you wouldn't be where you are now. You know what I mean? Are you happy? Would you say you're happy?
In a sense, yes. My mom always told me God's rejection is God's protection.
Mm-hmm.
So if things don't work out, I can't like cry about it and just like be upset.
Right.
I kind of have to move on and just like make the best situation out of my life. And I do believe, despite all my flaws, I'm not unlovable,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not like the most difficult person in the world to deal with. So I know my day is still coming.
But you still wonder what if.
That's just basic curiosity for like everything that I have in my life. It's not just geared towards X's of the past.
Mhm.
Like I think of like the what ifs on like every major decision I've ever made in my life. I just think about all those things.
Okay.
So it's not a what if for the sake of that individual young lady, but more so like I'm just curious about like how things could have been. I always like play the what ifs in my head.
Mm-hmm. I don't do that, but
They actually have like a whole Marvel's like what
Yeah.
if series. Like
yeah, I know.
the whole point, I got my own personal what ifs.
Nice. But I don't do that though. The past is the past, to be honest.
I wouldn't even say hard. I just feel like people are overcomplicating it. People are going into situations with their hands out, trying to demand and like set unrealistic expectations from the other party. People aren't coming into these situations with an understanding for the other person, coming into a situation with love.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, just being unrealistic about what you want and what you can really get.
I feel like as long as you're like intentional, you will find, even if it's like shit that I would say it's like it's shitty, but like they will find someone that wants to cook for them like first date. I promise you that you will find someone that wants to be wifey first date. I promise you, if that's what you're looking for, you will find that. What I find is the problem is like committing. Like not a lot of people in our generation wants to commit.
I could definitely see that. I mean, we're a lot more sexually active than what we used to be like 50 years ago.
No, we're not.
More
50 years ago was
We're
the
less.
70s.
Yeah, we're less sexual active.
I mean, it's not like we're all holding around, to be honest. Like,
There
No,
was
we're
literally, like-
hypersexual because we're not having sex.
And
Actually,
we're also we're less heterosexual societal than we are homosexual as a society as well. So that's why we don't even really reproduce like we did back in, whenever it was like the 1600s, having like 10 to 12 kids. My grandma's one of 12. I'm
That's
one
wild.
of one. So there's the generation.
It's just different standards.
I think we're also a little bit smarter, to be honest.
We're also just animals. We're humans. We're gonna have animal instinct, and
course.
that involves being sexual.
yeah, very true. I think with the amount of kids that we're having now versus in previous generations, I feel like that's more of an environmental factor.
Expand.
The amount of money it costs to actually like, raise a family. You could say that like people have had less money in the past. I would say, like if you're like working on a farm, you'd want to have like bigger family because you can have like
Oh
more
yeah,
people
because
like,
like
help you out.
labor.
Then it, like brings in more money for the family. So I mean, I can get it in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But in America, it's really hard. It's really hard.
It can happen if they want to have.
I mean,
if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, but people really know that it can make your life a lot more harder or more difficult. And a lot of people aren't going to sacrifice some things in life to bring in more children. I do believe a lot of people have the idea of I'm not going to bring children unless I can like properly provide for them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like that's why you see like more people are like having children like even after like our biological clocks is like almost running out, they're like having children after 35.
I just feel like that's due to people not being intentional.
I think it is being intentional, maybe not intentional towards relationships, but like intentional like career wise.
Crazy how we spoke about careers in our last episode.
I mean,
All right, if you're more intentional to your career and you postpone child rearing until you're like at the end of your reproductive life cycle, I feel like you're not being intentional for family.
well, I mean, you put your career first, but you can freeze your eggs and have kids after that. A lot of women are doing that and having kids in their 40s now.
Egg freezing is the most reliable, and I've been seeing a lot of stories where people have been freezing their eggs aren't viable. But I mean, you might have found other research.
There was an egg frozen in the 90s and like they didn't use it until like a few years ago, and technically the baby was older than the mother.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just thinking that it has a lower efficacy rate compared to other options. So it's not a viable solution in my opinion.
Google it.
We're trying to stay off the phones for this one.
Nah, Google it. It's our podcast, not theirs.
As Rob laughs in the background.
What, IVF?
Frozen egg viability.
Yeah, it's definitely viable.
I mean, like percentage wise, like how many eggs survive?
Doesn't matter. They freeze them and then they pick
Someone-
up those
yeah,
viable ones. They
someone-
freeze a good amount of them.
A baby was just born from like 1994.
Yeah, she just said that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts. Yeah, baby was just
Yeah,
born.
that
That was
did happen.
Yep.
yeah.
But is that, I guess,
Oh,
although that
Yeah,
is something that
frozen.
is able to happen and that we have the capabilities of doing it, is that still viable for lifestyle and lifespan? Because, you know, like I said, I'm one of one, but my mom was young when she had me.
Mhm.
I'm in my mid 30s.
Mhm.
I want children, still don't have them. And I'm thinking about the amount of time that I have with my mom versus the time I will have with my own.
Okay.
I mean, but that like
So is career
there's like many
worth
factors
it?
that factor
But
into that.
is career and putting everything aside worth maybe building that other type of foundation in love? Because even when you have nothing,
Mhm.
no wealth, no, like back in the day,
Mhm.
you still find a way,
Yeah, of course.
right?
So, quick thing I wanted to share as to why freezing eggs is not viable.
We
my
found some
God.
evidence.
Listen, I like to do a little research before I come into these things. So, according to Google, the AI overview, freezing your eggs costs roughly $10,000 to $20,000 per cycle.
Mhm.
So, most people don't have a spare $10,000, $20,000 just for their eggs.
No, but okay, economically viable is the relying on person. I think we're talking about process.
Yeah.
And the process is viable, but economically you don't like because there's grants, there's programs.
Everything
there's-
also gets cheaper.
Yeah, and there's grants, there's programs, there's way you can make it economically feasible. You can get a scholarship for it, maybe. I feel like you don't think there's a scholarship offer for eggs?
Of course.
There is.
Yeah, there's always there's scholarships for everything. There's got like grants, scholarships, people helping for
I don't
everything.
believe there's going to be enough
charities.
scholarships to really maintain our whole population.
Seems like that would be a charity.
That would be
Women who
100%
can't have
a
kids,
huge
they
thing
make
to-
them
It's like
they make
save
them able to have kids.
Yeah, like
Seems like something that would be a thing.
I definitely think that would be a main thing. No bullshit. To give people of poorer stature a chance at
Mhm.
freezing their eggs and making a more economically sound decision. There gotta be a charity for that. There,
They do that with life. They do it with move here because this country has no population. We will pay for you and your family.
It's true.
Have children. We will pay for you.
Oklahoma City was offering people $10,000 to live there and move there. Like, here's $10,000 free just to come and create a life here and start work for home. It was during COVID. Like, here's 10 bands. And Matt and I know like 3 people that actually did it. So I feel like if someone said, "Yo, but yeah, y'all pardon." Y'all pardon.
You got 20 minutes.
Are
No,
situationships just a nicer word for wasting time?
Mm. I don't think so.
Go
I mean, sometimes situationships get you through some tough times. You can really care about somebody, even if it is a situationship, and they really hold you down sometimes.
I mean, some people marry their situationships.
All right. I mean, a situation can turn into a long-term relationship. It all depends on the ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit. I had a bunch of situationships that like turned into like more serious things. Sometimes you just like tend to care for somebody. But if you're honest with somebody up front, like, hey, this is where I'm at. I don't want anything long term. You're here for a season.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a consenting adult and you agree to it, then what's the issue?
But is it not just wasting time?
I would still say no. I kind of feel like anyone who says any relationship is like wasting time because they're not guaranteed a marriage.
Well, I mean, I guess if it's like if you believe in marriage, but like it is wasting time.
All right. When I had my first, my second, my third girlfriend, while I was like still figuring out life, I didn't think I was gonna get married to them. That doesn't mean I was like wasting time. I was still trying to figure out where I was in the world, like figure out what I need to do in order to have a successful relationship and how I need to like treat a young lady.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there was definitely a lot of lessons that I've learned, experience that I've gained.
Mm-hmm.
And despite my shortcomings,
But you said they were girlfriends. You didn't say they were situationships. Oh my God, do you not think there's a difference between situationships and girlfriends?
depends on how I'm feeling.
What do you mean by that, Dana?
All right, I mean, it's like you're never gonna like walk up to someone new and say like, yeah, you're about to be on a new situationship. Like you're just DOA at that point.
I mean, if you're friends with benefits, that's a situationship.
All right, as someone who approaches women, I can't just like walk up to a random woman like, hey, do you want to be my friends with benefits? Or are you trying to be my fuck buddy?
I mean, you would already be friends with them. That's why it's called friends with benefits.
It depends on how you go about the friendship. If you're just friends and you try to get in somewhere and you like fail, then you're in the friend zone. But most of the time,
I feel like the friend zone's only for people who are like ugly. Am I wrong? No. Like,
no, attractive people get put in the friend zone all the time.
yeah.
Just for the record, I feel like I'm getting jumped low key. Every time I say something, everyone just chimes in.
Mom's on your side.
I'm not even being controversial in this one. Y'all still jumping me. Thank you, Mom. All right. There are people that might think you're cute and all that jazz, but they've just seen enough of you to say like, all right, I don't want to be involved with this individual.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know you're like talking about like you said before, like sandbox friends where you're like, we grew up together and I know like, I'm just going to use your name. I know Dana's a piece of shit. I would never date him. You know what I mean? But like, it was like a fairly new friendship, like a year, 2 years. And like, sorry. But yeah.
You just called me a piece of shit on this podcast.
Are you not? I'm sorry.
Why do I always have to get roasted?
But like, if it's like a fairly new friendship and it's like 2 years and then like y'all go to a party together, you know what I mean? And like one thing leads to another and you're like fucking like.
I mean, sometimes you're lucky. I mean, I've met people where I think I like want to do stuff with them.
I mean, that's usually how like friends with benefits like works.
Sometimes you just say, all right, cool. We like each other. There's like some type of chemistry, but like we don't really want to date. We don't want anything serious.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like a friends with benefits.
That doesn't mean you're like wasting time.
But you are wasting time. Because you know you're not going to be with this person. I mean, sometimes it does work out. And I'm not saying that sometimes those relationships don't work out. But
if the whole point of a friends with benefits is to smash, you both agree to smash.
You both agree to waste time.
And no, your time
can agree.
Your time is not wasted because you're getting
time.
what you're.
You can agree to waste time.
It's not a waste.
Time.
It is not a waste if you're getting what you want.
Oh my God. It's wasting time. It is. But define a friends with benefits situation for me.
When you have two consenting adults who decide they have sexual chemistry that they want to act on.
I don't want it to sound like Google said that. Like, I want you to tell me like what it means to you. What does it look like? Because you said you've been in one. What does it look like?
Two people decide they want to have sex and they decide they don't want a committed relationship.
Oh my God, tell me a story.
I feel like if I tell all my stories, I'm gonna sound like a hoe. I really do.
You're not a hoe, Dana.
Okay.
You want to talk about breadcrumbing?
Could you remind me breadcrumbing?
It's like they're like leading you on, I would say. Giving you just enough to keep you interested, but not enough to like satisfy you.
I mean, I've definitely been a victim of breadcrumbing. After I dealt with that for a couple months, I just realized I'm not going to do that again. So I just like moved on. I feel like I'll give anybody a fair shot and just see how they move. And if the situation just isn't working out for me, I'll just take the lesson, not really like the name, and just not go for that again. I've definitely seen like a lot of guys do that. I've seen some young ladies do that as well. I don't think it's like the coolest thing to do out there in the world. But I feel like if you can articulate your dislike of your situation with that person, you know you're not getting enough attention. You have to tell the person like, hey, either the behavior is going to change or I got to go and I got to change my person. So you have to have some self-respect at that point and set your boundaries.
Okay, but like at what point do you like say like this is enough?
It depends on what your patience is like.
What's it like for you?
All right, it like depends on like the extent of like the breadcrumbing, but like, all right, story time. During the pandemic, there was a young lady who I was like really infatuated with. God, I won't say the names. The young lady was a model. Really cool. One day I finally mustered up the courage to like ask her out and everything like that. We like caught up. It was a decent like first date. And it just felt like a hassle just to like schedule a phone call to like make things happen. So seeing her like once every other month or so. So after dealing with that for a couple months, I was like, yo, listen, I really like you. I'm feeling you. But like, we need to catch up more. Like this just isn't working for me.
Right.
For me, it was about like 4 months or so.
What did she say when you told her that?
So I was like, hey, listen, seeing you once a month, not it. We should at least be catching up like once a week or like once every 2 weeks. Like I get it, you're busy. I'm not trying to like be your dad. Live your life, be free. I don't want you to like not do your thing. She was like, oh, okay, yeah. I see you. I agree. We can make that happen. It just, nothing really changed. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm so busy and can't get on the phone, nothing. I was like, all right, cool, bet. So I just like faded into the background.
Like that Homer Simpson meme?
Yeah, just.
But like you said you were infatuated with her. Like if she was breadcrumbing you, at what point were you like infatuated?
Well, I mean, just based off the conversations that we had, I felt like our values were very aligned. I really like the look, curly hair. She was tall, slender, a light chocolate complexion, just a beautiful young lady. Like she's in the modeling industry. I feel like I'm a patient man, but not a stupid man. So after a couple months, it was like, all right, cool. I've told you what I want a couple times. I get that you have life, you're busy and all that jazz, but if you cannot make the time after like 4 months, you're just not doing it for me. And I'm not gonna say.
So you guys like used to talk like a lot more like in the beginning, and then she like started to like fade, or like was she always just kind of like popping in here and there?
Popping in.
You're stronger than me, to be honest. Who should pay for the first date? Or should it be split?
All right. I mean, I know you probably want me to say like the guys and all that jazz. I'll just go with whoever initiates the first date.
Whoever initiates the first date. Okay, that's fair. I mean, like, for like, so I don't ever initiate the first date, so.
All right, well, I mean, like, I've definitely asked like a lot of young ladies out, so I already go into it expecting to pay, just because like I'm trying to get things started. I've had people like asking me out, like, cool. I've been on first dates and like I've had women pay for me and like kind of like shock me and all that jazz. I'm also just not going to go on a first date to like a super fancy place and like spend a whole bunch of money on you if I don't know you like that. I just feel like that's a bad investment.
Oh, okay. What's the fanciest like first date you've ever like had?
It's got like 4 minutes.
Okay.
4-minute mark.
Damn, fanciest like first date. We've gone out to like a nice restaurant, caught a movie afterwards. That was a lot younger back then, but I spent maybe around like 150 or so. Nothing really came out of that. So I realized I just like wasted a whole bunch of my bread.
Oh, okay.
So I mean,
like, was it a nice date though? Like, I know nothing became of it, but like, was it?
it was a nice date. It was a nice date, yes. But like, I'm not just trying to have a whole bunch of nice one-off nights that nothing comes out of it.
Understood. What's the biggest dating ick for you?
Telling me off rip that you don't need me.
Expand.
I've gone to situations where like we'll chat like, hey, what are you looking for? I'm just looking for someone to vibe with. Just know I like you and all that, but like just know I don't really need you. I do it all on my own. Like I don't need no man and da-da-dee-da-da-da. And I just feel like it comes across as like very aggressive and like combative. And you shouldn't come into a situation like being dependent on somebody. As an adult, you should be able to like take care of yourself.
Right.
But if you feel comfortable enough to tell me like that you don't need me off rip, cool. Why are we here? I should like want to be needed by my partner. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. I don't feel like that's a sign of vulnerability.
Just like going back to something you said earlier, like you were like that you don't like want people coming off with like demands. Isn't that kind of like the opposite of that? By her saying like I don't need you, which means like she's like probably like hyper independent.
I feel like it's a tact issue. So when you're first getting to know somebody, you don't want to come across as like too strong, too weak. I get it. It's a balancing act. But like, if we reverse the genders and I walk up to a woman that I like, yeah, you're cute and all, but like, just know I don't need you. I can do my own thing. I don't need you. Like, I don't need no woman for nothing. I'm good by myself. She'd look at me like I was crazy.
Well, I mean, that's like against like the norm. So what would be like the male equivalent to that?
Damn. Never thought of like a male equivalent per se.
No, because well, the women like historically like depended on men because they didn't have any rights. So when she's telling you, well, hypothetically, she's telling you that she doesn't need you. She's just telling you that she's independent. But like, what would be the male equivalent to that? Traditionally, wouldn't it be like, I'll take care of you. You wouldn't have to work. You know what I mean?
That's called being a sucker.
I mean, it's equivalent to her saying that like I don't need you.
No man's just like gonna walk up and like threaten a woman like, I'm about to take care of you. You ain't gotta work. You ain't gotta do nothing for the rest of your life. That sounds like a good deal. I want someone to come and pay my bills. I got a mortgage. Can a stranger walk up and like threaten to like pay my mortgage and buy me a house?
I mean,
I would be happy.
yeah.
And thank you for joining us while we figured this whole podcasting thing out. It was a pleasure. Anything, P?
See you guys next time.
We need Jesus.